Welcome back to our video. Hey, hello Freds. I know what he wants a treat. You can hang on a second, demanding little boy. Right, welcome back to this video. Is going to be rear end sill on the Fiesta Mk6 as they usually go. So this is what we're looking at here. Not too bad. I say probably going to want it back up to here really. I'll get the grind out, get it good clean around here somewhere. Feel a bit soft there. I think that'll be alright until about 12 inches I reckon. So I won't mess about giving you lifelong stories of whatever's going on in the workshop or whatever, or how bad it is and oh dear, worse than I thought and all that. I'll just get stuck into it and give you a step-to-step tutorial how I do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right way, but it means it's the way that I'll do it for an MOT. Again, they don't want a excellent job on it, they just want an MOT job doing, so I'll do the best what I can for them within the budget sort of thing. So right, let's get on with it. Under a little bit more investigation, she's gone a bit at the end of the sill as well, so I'll deal with this at the same time obviously. Just gonna pull out the inner liner, comes out. I'll just show you. You got these little locking tabs that obviously go where we're looking on there. They go on there, and I just used a trim puller just to hook underneath them, prise them off. I've done 3 of them, moved 3 of them, one there. Bloody light, it's terrible, it's like a cave in here. I know I keep saying that every time, but it really is. Move one from here and one from higher up in the arch. There, so that's 3 that I removed. Move the torch out of the way, and then just give it a bit of a GBH, pull it back, and that will hold up there out of the way. So yeah, here we go. That's all right, that is. I'll clean down, but obviously she's well sorted. This bit here obviously it's gone at the end of the sill. So right, I should be back in a moment when I've cleaned it up. Yeah, I'll be back in a moment. Right, it's been roughly cleaned up now. I will go over it quickly again. This is just to show you guys how I'm doing it. There's a bit gone there in the inner sill there. I see people just trash these cars together so much, leave these bits out there and everything. But this is triple skin. This is this bit here. This has got your floor area, yeah, or your engine chassis, whatever you want to call it. Now you've got the inner sill here, which is clearly isn't joined here. So what I will do, I will craft a little piece in here and bring it down to here, plug weld that up, make that look alright. I might even seam weld it, I don't know yet, whatever, it's going to be good, whatever. Then I'll clean it a bit more. But what I will warn you guys about is, if you ain't had experience of these, especially 3 doors, right, is if you don't want your motor to burn down, your garage to burn down or whatever, inside these there is some sound deadening there. That I've welded quite a few of these up over the years, so I do know about this, but this is a bit of advice for you. I would, like you see, this is bad, do you know what I mean? So you do need to pull it out. Don't worry about all this shape yet. I'm a great believer in I never cut the whole lot out until I've shaped it. I see a lot of people chopping this, chopping that, cutting that back, cutting all that out, cutting all that out, cutting all the floor out down here, and then obviously not on this because this ain't that bad. Then you lose your shape for your car, and then they make it up and it looks atrocious. I'm just thinking, really, how why do you need to do that? Take one bit at a time and it'll all fall into place a lot better and a lot neater. So what I did, I just cut out a little piece here, just enough to squeeze it out. And you see that it's a big old bit of sound deadening there, look. As you can see, look, you don't want that catching fire. shit, sorry. You don't want that catching fire inside there. That'll soon go up like nobody's business. So that is one bit of advice for you when you're welding these. I have give this a little bit of a clean up. So that will be that'll cut out in a moment. But like I say, I like to keep the shape there. I'll trim. I've got so much bloody Fiesta stuck to the bottom of my magnets. Now, that's all right up there. I'll trim this a little bit higher here. I'll lap this weld over, lap that plate over in there. Tidy up, that'll look alright in a minute anyway. So I'm just going to clean it a little bit more up. I say she's clean up about as best it's going to do. Then I'll start to put a little plates in here, and then I'll make the plate up here. What I'm going to do is, we've got this little bit here, you can't really see it. It's like a little raised bit here. That's where the water all sits in this area here. So I'm going to weld it under here, across here. I'm going to weld it up to somewhere around that line there so it blends in. And then I should probably come at a diagonal across there. Put it down here, level here. And come back round. Then they dive in there to do. That is what I'll do. But I'll clean up a bit more, and then I shall start to fabricate a plate, and I shall show you how I shall do it. Right, there we go. As you can see it, random bit of tin out of my scrap tin box. I never throw none of it away off my offcuts, always come in handy. So there you go. I put a couple of plug welds on there, solve that down there. I'll grind that. As you can see, that's level with the original part, and then that'll just butt up to that bit inside. You know, it doesn't take much longer to actually do a job half properly than it is to miss bits out or make things look like bird shit or whatever. I mean, I'm always a great believer in, if you're going to do it to your best ability. I know some people's abilities a bit lower than others, but my God, some people shouldn't be seen near a welder, I don't think. I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, and I think just really, you see it like whole, then you see about a bit of bird shit or braille, whatever I'd like to call it. Then all of a sudden you see it with loads of seam sealer busting over everything. Do you know what I mean? You know that's just a poor weld, and the comments you get is just like, oh, it's amazing, what a great job. And I was thinking, would you really want them to work on your motor? But hey ho, they try, you got to give them that. Do you know what I mean? Never slag anyone off for the work, but it's just, I think really it shouldn't happen. So here you go, I'm going to get this bit welded in. Right, there we go. See, it's welded in. Spoils at the bottom, I'll flush them off. Bit in there. Well, it looks crap, the welders in videos. But yeah, there you go. So that's all there. So I'm just going to grind this flat and this little bit here. So obviously when my sill butts up to that, that's going to need something flat to go against. So I'll show you when that's done. So right, what I've done, I've cut a plate out that was 8.5 inches by 7.5 inches. Put an 1/2 inch fold on the bottom edge there, as you can see. And this is why I always keep the shape of the car there before I actually cut it out, because what I've done is I've actually folded the car, the plate around the sill to get the shape, if you see what I'm saying. Don't worry about this bit here where my thumb is at the moment, because I'm going to do a little, got to trim this plate off yet and do blah blah blah, get it to the size what I want. Then I'll blend them two in, but I'm not worried about that yet. So I'm more worried about is just concentrate on one thing at a time. So first stage was cut the plate to size. Second, get your lip on the bottom. Third, get the plate so it curves around the car. So it ain't too bad luck. I mean, a little bit of pressure there just to finish that off, but that will go in as I'm folding it around. It's not even near the edge because I don't want it to be near the edge yet. So right, I will line this plate up and then I will trim it down, and then I'll show you the next stage. Alright, you can see now where I'm going to do the slicing and dicing on the plate. Say the bit above my thumb line is going to be cut out, and that is hopefully going to resemble something that's on the car. Okay, right, I'll cut this bit out. Right, there we go. This is all fitted in place. As you can see, I was just having a look at, being a bit nosy at something then. As you can see, that's not too bad. That's going to line up there. What I'm going to do, this part here, as you can see, get the foot torch out of the way. Will push up nicely. Bit of steel's curved. I should blend them two in when I cut the steel out behind it. As you can see, is where this sill comes down and goes round under. That is going to weld level with that around there. And then on this particular car, I sort of said, can you just do a half neat job, which I can do, yeah. Is here, I'll put a cutting disc in here, push that up so that'll go level, and put that. And then once I've done that, then I shall run a score up here so it's all fitting nice and close. So what I mean about cutting it, leaving the sill there until you're ready, so you get a nice, keep it to the shape of the car instead of trying to guess it afterwards. So that'll go in there nicely. Just wants a little bit of fettling about, as you can see. She'll go nicely. Then I'll run grinding disc up here, or cutting disc I say, then butt weld that flush in, and then I'll seam weld along the bottom edge. A lot of people sort of just do spot, but technically if it's a plate, it should be seam welded all the way around, and that is the law of the MOTs. And you see people put a bit of bird shit plate here, a bit of bird shit here, but that's a plate. Do you know what I mean? If I was button welding that all the way in, then that would be classed as part of the panel, so then you can plug weld it. But I say for stronger repair, I'll do it all the way around and do it down there. I'll get it looking nice in the end. You'll see I'll do it at the end, but always leave quarter to half inch line here. I can always weld against. If this was a sill, what I would do then is, what I see people do all the time, they put a sill on the car, they drill the holes in the front, the sill there, the new skim, and then they plug weld them, which is perfectly good. I'll plug weld it myself. I haven't got a spot weld. I never had a needed for one. But then you've got to grind it all down, and then you can see all the indentations where the grind marks are. You can see where the plug welds are. You can see where it's not gone neat. But what I always do, I've got a Ford Puma. I've got to do a pair of sills on soon. What I'm going to do, I'll make my own, because you can't get them very well for them, and I'll just do similar. I'll do it underneath of a car like this. But what I'll do is the floor to sill, it is pretty shabby underneath. There'll be a couple of videos on that. But what I always do is I lay the sill, make the sill edge always level with the car it should be, so you get a nice straight line all the way along, and then I will drill behind it. I'll drill the floor to sill, or the inner sill, where it all meets together. If we could imagine this, we had the sill missing here now, do you know what I mean, and this is like the floor to sill. I'll drill these all along here, and then I would lay the sill to it, then I'll plug weld it from behind, so you can't see where you've welded on the front, and it just looks like an eyesore to me. I've been doing this for 30 odd years, so I pretty much know what I like to do and what sort of job I like to do, but it's all about catching the eye, do you know what I mean? So, and that is how I do it. And technically, if your plug welds are nice and flush, which if you get the welder hot enough they will go flush, you won't even need to grind them. If you do, it's very minimal, and if you have, you can underseal it or wax oil it, whatever you want to do from behind. Then you can't even see it's been done from underneath there, and you can't see it's been done from the front, and it looks such nicer to the job, or to eye of the job that you've done. So, well, that's it. It's not this job, but this I was just explaining how I usually do a bit of plug welding and all that. So, right, I'm now going to get this tacked in place. Right, there you go. Did have a bit of a welder malfunction for some reason when I was welding that little bit there. bloody reel of wire fell off inside my welder. So then when I sorted out, I thought it'd run out of wire, but there you go. I've welded along the bottom edge where I said I would. But that's brought that, you can't really see, but if you look, that's brought that nice and flat with this part of the sill. So when I dress that down, you won't be able to see that. Up there, got a nice hot weld, and you see, I mean, I cut through here, and that brought that flat with the bottom of the sill there, that lowest part. So when I cut that through, that brings that nice and level, and then I cut through both, and then ran some tack welds up there. So that's all nicely buttered in now. So that won't look a bad little job really. So right, I'll now get on. Right, there we go. What I've been doing, as you can see, I've been putting on spot welds down there, letting it cool down. Obviously stop panel warping, but you've probably heard all that before. But between doing that, I grinded the bottom of the welds off on there, and I did above there as well. You can't really see because I'm just getting by the light, but you can see now how nice and flush it's along there, and it is, oh, you can't really see, that is quite neat, that is. So right, I should now just going to grind all that down. Right, there we go, that's all ground down. Looks right, doesn't it? Not bad for a beginner. So I'll just, when I'm ready, I'll just roughen this edge up here. I'll get the old DA onto that before I put some paint on it or whatever I'm going to do. So it's got something to key on it. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to curve the arch in a little bit. You know what I mean? Just get a nice little bit of a shape so it follows around, if you notice. That's still when you do a flat plate, but you can notice from that line there to that line there, you can see she'll have a little bit out. So next bit is I'll curve that round. There you go, it's more curved now, as you can see. So right, that bit's all done. I'm right for that for now. What I'm now going to do is sort out, oh shit, that back area, join it all up, put a little piece in there, and jobs are good 'un. Right, back soon. Right, back again. So now I'm going to do the closing end of the sill. I've trimmed down this line here to get a bit of clean bit of metal up to about this height here. So obviously I'm going to lose this bit here. This is just going to be an overplate. That will, let's see, just closing that in there. That's that plate I put on the inside of the sill before. I've cut my plate out. What I've done is marked the template. I made it slightly bigger, got to excuse the noise in the background, made it slightly bigger, and then drew a line underneath there to get the contour of the shape. So I shall cut this bit out and I shall be back with you. Right, here we go. This is the next bit plate I made to close it off with. Slight change of design in it, I always do this. So that's obviously going to go in there. And the reason I do change the design a little bit, so it goes on quite nice, is because this line comes down here, and if you don't close that off properly, hence goes in there, and then if the water does come down, that will deflect out the way. But I'll put some silicone sealer up here. I haven't got silicone sealer, some sealer up there to prevent the water ingressing in the back of the sill again. That's where the main water goes in. So I shall get this welded in. Right, there we go. It's all welded in now. And you can see, welded up the line there where it meets the old inner wing. I put the plate in down there so it all joins up there. Obviously it goes across there, around there. Nice neat job. As you can see, penetration's good. It's come through. So this sort of concludes the end of the welding. I shall now do a bit of finishing off and be back. Right, as you can see, it's all done, seam sealed up, wax all in there, or black seals, unsealed stuff, and that is the job there. Believe it or not, there's actually no filler in that. I can see the line, it comes down this way I'm pointing, it comes down here, comes down here. You can see where the plate finishes under there, but you can't really see it, but that is the job. I'll take it all that in afterwards. But there we go, that is the job of a Fiesta Mk6. Oh, by the way, I did stone guard it underneath. That's what I used, stone guard, and that is the paint that I used, colour matched. So yeah, the stone guard gives it a nice texture underneath, and also it provides a bit of thickness, is like a primer sort of thing. So but yeah, all good, happy with that, lovely. Thanks for watching.